Hello and welcome to our very last episode of 1300. My name is Emily. You might remember me from such episodes of What's Cooking, Good Looking, and from the rejected season of The Bachelorette.
And I'm Jake, and you might not remember me because I'm usually working really hard producing this show and making sure Calvin is staying in line.
Or you might not remember him because he's always at the Eagle Bar, drinking, not working.
Okay. Anyway, coming up on today's show, we have a discussion on the closure of Manus Island. Meg reviews King Arthur. And also we have a pirate coming into the studio.
Oh, we have a pirate? Oh, that's exciting. I hope he doesn't see any treasure to plunder. And I have it on very good authority that we have our final instalment of What's Cooking, Good Looking, LCI, and Please Explain. So a very exciting show coming up today.
Radical. I'm looking forward to it, but first let's check in with Marie with the latest news headlines.
Hello.
Hi, thanks guys. Police are treating an explosion at Manchester Arena, which killed 19 and injured at least 50, as a terror attack. Some of those injured had wounds consistent with shrapnel and the detonation of a nail bomb. The arena was full of people attending an Ariana Grande concert at the time. British Prime Minister Theresa May has described the incident as an appalling act of terrorism. Eyewitnesses have described the situation as chaotic and like a war zone, where those in the arena fled for their safety following the explosion. There are fears for the safety of many children who attended the concert and ran away in fear following the explosions. Ariana Grande has just taken to Twitter in the aftermath of the incident, tweeting, "Broken. From the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. I don't have words." And we will endeavour to report any further developments on this story as they come to hand. A man has been shot in Coolaroo overnight. He was at a gym in Reservoir Drive around 8 p.m. last night when several shots were fired into the building. The man took himself to hospital a short time later with non-life-threatening injuries. And it is understood he was shot in the leg. Paramedics attended, but the man had left before they arrived. Police believe the shooting was a targeted attack. Chaos has erupted outside the Melbourne Magistrates Court this morning after members of the United Patriots Front attended court this morning. The group were rallying in support of their leader Blair Cottrell and another two members, Neil Erickson and Christopher Neil Shortis. Channel 7 reporter Paul Dowsley was forced to protect his cameraman as one of the UPF members grabbed him. The three accused members are facing charges of defacing the footpath and wall of a garden bed outside Bendigo Council offices and behaving in an offensive manner. A 59-year-old man has accidentally reversed his car into the Geelong Hospital Emergency Department. Police and firefighters were called to the hospital around 8:40 this morning after the car reversed into an administration area. The man is now being assessed at the hospital and no staff were injured. Australian actress Rebel Wilson is currently testifying in her defamation case against Bauer Media. She became emotional in court while describing the impact of articles published in Woman's Weekly, Woman's Day and OK magazines. Wilson claims the articles published by the magazines portray her as a serial liar who invented stories and lied about her age. Her barrister also claims the articles led to a loss of acting opportunities for Wilson. The trial continues. Melbourne is in the grips of a mouse plague, with the rodents scurrying across the state towards the CBD. The plague is said to have originated from the state's west, with warm spring weather last year providing the perfect breeding ground for them. The mice are migrating to the city to escape the cold rural areas of the state. This comes as the CSIRO express a warning to farmers and residents in Western Victoria to be on high alert due to the large numbers of mice. A lecturer has been suspended from Monash University following an incident with an online quiz. The quiz, part of the business course at the university, included a question which asked, "There is a common saying in China that government officials only speak the truth when?" And students selected their answer from 4 potential responses. The answer was given as the fourth option, when they are drunk or careless. Around 500,000 Chinese social media users have reacted to a news report on the incident. A university spokesman said they received many complaints from students and the offending material had been taken down pending a review into the incident. And now to Melbourne's weather. Currently in Melbourne, it is 18 degrees with a chance of a shower in the afternoon. Wednesday, it'll be 17 with a shower or two. Thursday, 18 with a possible late shower. And on Friday, it'll be 17 and partly cloudy. This is Marie Chavithic for 1300 La Trobe Live.
Thank you for that news. I have to say, I'm really disturbed about this mouse epidemic that's happening. What? It's so. Should we all be afraid of mice?
Yeah, make sure you don't leave food scraps around. Yeah.
I had a mouse in my house, and it was the most terrifying. It was really cute though, which is really depressing because I had to dispose of it.
Aww.
Well, thank you for the news.
No worries, thank you.
It's interesting because my house sort of backs onto a field, so we get a lot of field mice coming in. It's basically just traps for days at our place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you ever walk into the traps yourself?
Yes. And I believe you have too for What's Cooking.
Yes, I have, and I wasn't going to tell anyone that, so thank you for
That's
that, Jake.
okay.
So this is the 1300 broadcast. It is currently 1:09 p.m. This is our very last broadcast, so thank you for joining us. You can still tweet us at Twitter at 13_100 and catch replays of the show on the big screen in the Agora throughout the week or at upstart.net.au. So now it's time for our top story of the day.
Yes, the detention centre in Manus Island is set to close by October this year. And we have Georgie and Tim in the studio to tell us all about it. How's it going, guys?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Yeah, really well.
Good. Enjoying the hosting chairs?
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about Manus Island and, as you said, its closure towards the end of the year. So Australia's history with asylum seekers, refugee policy has been contentious, to say the least. There are arguments that, as one of the leading developed nations in the world, which are with a large landmass area to low population density, Australia has the physical space and the financial resources to offer asylum to those who seek it. So from, former ex-Prime Minister Tony Abbott's campaign to stop the boats, to the mistreatment and abuse of refugees at detention centres like at Manus Island, and the Australian government's restricted acceptance of refugees during last year's Syrian crisis, Australia has been deeply criticised for its policies on asylum seekers. The government recently announced that the closure of Manus Island, one of Australia's offshore detention processing centres, will be officially closed by October this year, so in a matter of months.
Oh, wow. Do you want to just kind of go through us really quickly sort of the history of what's going on here?
Yeah, sure. So in 2001, Immigration Detention and Asylum Seeker Processing Centre was established on Manus Island as a part of the Howard government's Pacific Solution. In 2003 to 2004, the Manus Island Detention Centre falls out of use as government prefers Nauru. In 2008, the Rudd government closes Manus and Nauru detention centres. And November 2012, the Gillard government reopens the centres following a surge in asylum seekers arriving on Australian shores. Between February and July of 2013, the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, reports describe living conditions at Manus as harsh. Rudd returns to leadership and brings in the policy to turn around any boat, saying that no person who arrived here on boat would ever be settled in Australia. This was said to be about changing Labor's image coming up to the federal election rather than an actual policy that they wanted to bring in. In September in 2013, Cornell Review released on sexual abuse allegations at Manus, and more guard protocols were recommended. 2014, in January, The Guardian releases data showing 110 incidents of self-harm, assaults and hunger strikes over 4 months. In February 17th, 2014, protests for asylum seekers led to violent riots at Manus Centre, with PNG police and locals reportedly attacking detainees. Iranian asylum seeker Reza Barati, who was 23, was killed, and 62 asylum seekers were injured as a result of the inflicted violence. May 2014, the government report identifies a centre worker as allegedly responsible for the death. In 2014 September, Immigration Minister Scott Morrison indicates Manus will close and detainees are sent to Nauru. In December 14th of the same year, the Senate inquiry to Barati's death finds government failed to protect asylum seekers and victims should receive compensation. In January 2015, there were 300 asylum seekers on Manus that embarked on a hunger strike and self-mutilation. July 2015, media reports a spate of violent crimes on the island, including the alleged murder of a centre security guard, a machete attack and a gang rape by Australian guards. In February 2016, class action involving 600 asylum seekers launched in PNG's Supreme Court to challenge the legality of Manus Centre. In April 2016, the PNG Supreme Court finds Manus Centre to be illegal, unconstitutional, forcing Australia to seek other plans for its 815 detainees. PNG Prime Minister Peter O'Neill confirms the detention centre will be shut down. In August 2016, PNG says Australia will close the centre. On the 15th of May this year, Immigration Minister Peter Dutton says part of Manus Island Detention Centre will be progressively closed, ahead of its final closure on October 31st. Demolition is starting as soon as 28th of May in some sectors of the centres. Detainees have been warned by PNG immigration officials to consider your options. No one will be resettled in Australia.
Okay, now just back to basics for a moment. Can you guys sort of explain the history of refugee policy in Australia and sort of like in a broader global sort of context?
Yeah, sure.
So refugee policies were brought in after World War I, when many people were found to be displaced and needed to find a new safer home. But it was further developed and strengthened after the atrocities of World War II, and with many European countries needing to flee their homeland. So through continuing action undertaken by the United Nations to address numerous refugee situations in all regions of the world, such refugee situations remain a tragic feature of our troubled time.
Yeah, absolutely. So why is Manus Island closing?
So in April this year, PM Malcolm Turnbull pledged to close Manus Island Detention Centre, as we've said, by October this year, after meeting with his Papua New Guinea counterpart, Peter O'Neill, to discuss how to resettle asylum seekers who won't be accepted into the United States under the, the kind of topical US-Australia asylum seeker deal with Trump and everything. So the comments supported Mr. O'Neill's stated plan to shut the facility amid growing uncertainty over the fate of more than 850 asylum seekers. But they're yet to learn if they can be resettled outside Papua New Guinea. Mr. Turnbull endorsed the goal of closing the centre in the wake of the Papua New Guinea Supreme Court's decision in ruling that the detention centre on Manus Island was actually unconstitutional and unfit.
So what's going to happen to these refugees now they have to leave?
In his announcement, Peter Dutton has given the asylum seekers 3 options. So number 1, they can settle in Papua New Guinea. Number 2, they can transfer to another country other than Australia. Or number 3, they can return to their country of origin. So is it yet again an example of Australia neglecting to offer sanctuary for those who need it most? Detainees awaiting acceptance for resettlement by the United States have been told that some of them will be held at the East Lorangau camp near the island's major town.
So we've spoken a lot about why Manus Island is closing and why Australia should subsequently offer a refuge to these displaced people. Yeah. But what are the arguments for restricting and prohibiting these refugees from settling in Australia?
Sure. So, I think we're all familiar with politicians like Pauline Hanson.
Please explain.
Please explain. That's not my job. That's for Sheridan and Marie later. But I'll explain as best I can. Is the concern that and this is a direct quote from Pauline Hanson, is that a truly multicultural country can never be strong and unified. So the arguments are that by introducing new, historical, socio-cultural and religious cultures into Australia, and by introducing, new societal groups, that there'll be disharmony between Australians who live here and who are being introduced, who are seeking refuge. It's a strange one, A lot of the other argument is that it's kind of based around fear that Australians will lose their jobs because with a supposed influx of refugees, the industry markets will become saturated while demand stays the same, whereas in people seeking jobs increases.
But it's interesting, and I think that people don't realise is that when we do have refugees come in, that will create more jobs.
That's the point, yeah, exactly. So it's, I completely agree. I think, it won't stifle demand, it will actually create it and increase it. Because
we'll need English teachers and people to help them to get integrated in the community. Yeah. And I think people... like you said, it's right. It is, I guess, a fear of change. Yeah. And I think that's something that's really stop progression through our society, is that fear of change. And
absolutely,
I completely agree. I think that if we give them the chance, I think that it would be beneficial for Australia, because if we had never done any integration multiculturalism when we were the beginning, we would just be a very, very European country at the beginning if we didn't have everyone coming from the gold rush.
Yeah, I'm reading actually this book called Australia's Second Chance, and it's an analysis of Australia's financial and economic position through every wave of immigration and how it's strengthened every single time, and the benefits, not just financially, but that's the main focus of the book, but culturally. I mean, imagine Melbourne, for example, is renowned for its food and coffee scene. What would that look like?
Exactly.
If it was just convicts from Europe and the UK. I don't know.
Well, thanks for coming in, guys. And
thank you.
Thank you so much.
All that stuff. It was really great.
Awesome. Thank you.
This is the 1300 broadcast, and this is our very last episode for the semester, possibly ever, of the actual 1300 title. You can still tweet us on Twitter. Someone might respond, but who knows? You can still catch replays of the show on the big screen in the Agora and throughout the week on upstart.net.au, but not the continuing weeks, but I'm sure there'll be reruns.
Yeah.
Upcoming on the show, we have Meg's Minute and ACLA. It's now 1:21 p.m. and you are, again, watching the 1300. But before all that, we have the fan favourite, What's Cooking Good Looking, back for one last time.
Oh, I didn't know I had fans.
Well, I'm a fan.
Oh, that's really nice. I'm really sorry about the Eagle Bar comment before.
Yes, well, let's take a look at what you've prepared this week.
Hi! Hi, my name's Emily, and welcome to another edition of
What's Cooking Good Looking?
That's right! We are the cooking show that comes into the kitchen of a uni student and creates a delicious but nutritious meal with what we find. Now, I'll be honest with you, it was a little bit difficult this week trying to find willing participants to let me use their kitchen, because apparently a previous participant from an earlier episode, who shall remain nameless, oh my god, it was Bethany Tweedale from episode 2, that was her. Sorry. She actually told people that I was really mean and hard to work with, which is just ridiculous. But as you can see, I managed to find a kitchen that very obviously belongs to a uni student, which you'll soon see.
And now for What's Inside Your Cupboard.
Boo! It's me. I'm in the cupboard.
Time to cook.
So apparently our previous videos have gotten a little bit of criticism saying our food isn't actually healthy, which is ridiculous. I mean, the authentic pad thai, that had peanut butter in it. Peanut butter's healthy? It's nuts. maybe it's my haters that are nuts. Moving on. But I've taken criticism on board, and so today I'll be making a very healthy smoothie bowl. Very exciting. Anyone, even the uni student, can make a very healthy smoothie bowl following these simple steps that I stole from Pinterest. According to user funandflirtymama_65, a smoothie bowl should include 1. A thickening substance of some sort, 2. A protein, 3. Liquids, 4. Fruits, 5. Vegetables, and 6. A little bit of sweetener. It was a challenge in this uni student's kitchen, but I managed to find the ingredients for each thing. For number 1, the thickener, we have sour cream, which is Weight Watchers, which means it's healthy. For protein, we had red kidney beans, which was found in the back of the cupboard with some kind of strange substance upon it. Number 3, for the liquids, we couldn't find anything that wasn't off, so I might have gone to the shops and bought some nudie-free, which isn't cheating, I'm sure. Number 4, we used this black currant jelly of the airplane variety. For our leafy greens, we're going a little bit Italian. We're going to use some, I'm going to stop that now. And say we're going to use some basil with pesto sauce. And for a little bit of sweetener, you can't go wrong with 2-year-old maple syrup. Yum in my tum. Now the process is incredibly easy. All you need is a blender. In the blender, add your thickener. Now, add your protein. Glump, 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 glump. Now add your liquids. I'm sure there's ratios for these things, but who cares about that? Now we're going to add our very lovely fruit. Now our leafy greens with pesto. That actually smells very strongly, and I'm not sure if I should put it in this smoothie, but I'm committed now. And now for a little bit of sweetener. Now put that lid on and blend. Just blend away. Blend, blend, blend. Honey, you blend well. And voila! A very healthy, and did I mention it was healthy, smoothie bowl. Now just pour it into your bowl. And now for the fun part. We get to add the delicious toppings on top. And make sure you make it Instagrammable. First of all, we're going to put in some LSA mix, which I'm sure stands for lots of manky almond mix. Next, we add our tasteless little black beads, also known as chia seeds, some cocoa nut, some sugar to sweeten that stuff up. And because this is a breakfast meal, let's add some energy with some ground coffee. Add some bananas on top and some almonds. Chocolate almonds. Here we go. One very delicious and nutritious
smoothie bowl. So I'm just going to try taste test that now and see how delicious.
What are you doing in my house? What's with the camera?
This is completely a part of the show. Here at What's Cooking, Good Looking, we like to make jokes and joke around, and this is just a very funny practical joke, part of the episode. That big scary guy, he's my friend. Yes, we know each other from way back. I didn't just break into their home to use their kitchen. That's so stupid. I would never do that. Okay. Okay, well, sorry about that. Unfortunately, these things happen. There's a bit of risk involved with every shoot. Obviously, as I said before, it was a joke. I planned that. Haha. Fooled you. So let's carry on with the rest of the video. I've managed to find this great, quite remote little area shrubbery in which for us to do the next part of our video, which is to taste test. And I managed, while the friend of mine was jokingly calling the police on me, I managed to grab my camera equipment and the smoothie bowl, which is very exciting, so we can complete the taste test part of this episode. Have a little scoop here. I'm gonna have a little bit. Ooh, it's very clumpy. I actually don't mind that. It's a little bit Italian. But, I mean, it's just pure sugar, and I really like sugar. So that is actually really, 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 really a lot of different flavors going on at once. But who says that a lot of flavor is a bad thing? I surely don't. And I feel like I have quite a expertise on this kind of thing. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of What's Cooking, Good Looking. Hopefully we won't be cancelled for next week's show, but who knows? I don't know.
What's Cooking, Good Looking.
Wow, Emily. Wow.
Thank you. No, I appreciate the feedback. I tried really hard with that. I actually have a really funny story about the making of that episode.
Shoot.
Well, you know about this.
Okay.
I came in to the editing suites to do the final to finalize the video, and I could not for the life of me find the project, and I was freaking out because it was literally like 8 hours of work that I couldn't find. And so I was really freaking out, and I messaged my producer, Jake, who's sitting here right next to me, and I messaged him being like, I can't find my project. And Jake, who was ready to go out and go out to see a band, was like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And he like raced over and Jake, my producer, my hero, my captain, he found the project in the trash bin. And so I would like to dedicate that episode to you, because otherwise, without you, it would not exist, because I would have just, yeah.
This is true.
That is true.
This is true. Cool story.
Oh, thank you.
And now we have Meg in the studio for Meg's Minute. She is discussing King Arthur. So take it away, Meg.
Okay, well, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword is the latest adaptation in the Arthurian tale. Directed by Guy Ritchie, it stars Charlie Hunnam as the title character and Jude Law as his evil uncle King Vortigern. It is a darker telling of the classic tale, and although it has incredibly amazing production design and CGI, to put it bluntly,
honestly, this movie is crap. Honestly, I don't even know what to say about the film aside from don't waste your money. I can easily say there wasn't a time where I wasn't bored, frustrated, or waiting for the film to end. Ritchie's films are usually great and he has an incredibly individual directing style, but it was really, really not cutting it for this movie. The editing, although purposely all over the place, is incredibly hard to follow and gets old really, really fast. Jude Law worked with what he had, but it was nowhere near as amazing as his performance in The Young Pope, and there is a reason why Charlie Hunnam's leading man career died when Sons of Anarchy ended. The only person who seemed to be actually trying was Eric Bana, and he was irrelevant for most of the film. It's incredibly contrived, and I know they're trying to retell a story that's been recycled over and over again, but maybe some things are better left to rest. I give King Arthur Legend of the Sword 1 out of 5 M&Ms. Be prepared to strap in, because apparently we're getting 5 more of these bad boys. Can't wait.
All right, where'd you want me?
Oh, okay.
Bouncing on my knee. Where'd you think I want ya? Hands on the hilt, stupid. Oi, both hands.
Thanks, Meg. I gotta say, I wasn't planning on seeing that movie, so props to Meg for taking one for the team on that one.
Yeah, we better buy her a drink to thank her for that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jake, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Have you ever been catfished before?
I don't think so. What's catfishing?
Well, it's like when you meet someone online and they are actually nothing like they say or who they pretend to be.
Actually, yeah. One time I matched with someone that said they were Dobby the House Elf, and then when I met them, they were actually Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Okay, so speaking about catfishing, our team at LCLA has done some investigating about catfishing right here at La Trobe.
Awesome. Let's take a look.
Catfishing is the scourge of online and reputable dating sites such as eHarmony, RSVP, and AshleyMadison.com. But recently, a new player has entered the catfishing world.
The coconut and the banana have become the hottest personalities on the block for those looking for love. Jacob Joyceberry and Rachel Simmons are two people who have fallen in love with the philandering fruits. They give their insight into their attraction.
He's just so nice and kind, and he likes to live the risky life, which I'm really looking for in a man, and he also has huge coconuts.
We hit it off really well, mainly because he sent me his nudes, which is always really, really appreciated.
What if I told you guys you were being catfished?
No.
Not again.
Well, I can prove that your garden variety fruit are actually not the sexy fruit you thought they were.
What?
Revealed.
It is smaller than I thought, really.
Not again. I could work with this.
Once again, fruit ain't so sweet. It is sad to see how innocent, vulnerable, and lonely people have been preyed on by... What is it? What?
Hello? Jake?
Jake? What is it? What is it?
You know the girl from What's Cooking?
What's Cooking Good Looking?
She's broken into another house.
Another house?
It's Jake's.
It's Jake's. All right, we have to go this right away. Can't let them get ahead in the ratings.
You can't break into someone's house.
So?
But that's what she's doing.
We're here at Jake's house at the moment, and we seem to have no sign of
The
him.
lady.
Reports say that she left just before. We'll go in and see if he's here. All right, let's see if he's here. No, he's not here. Oh, don't know. Guess he's home. We weren't able to find much. All we found was the smell of a terrible, terrible tasting smoothie and not much else. Though we did discover in this report that Jake has an excellent couch. It's quite comfy. I think he might be upstairs, actually. Did you hear that?
Want to do an interview?
What the hell? Dude,
Wanna do it?
how did you get in here?
Emily showed me how to get in.
Yeah, so I came downstairs and it just smelt like smoothie bowl. Like smoothie bowl, right? I didn't even catch her. It was my housemate. He came downstairs and full freaked out, called the police as she ran out the door.
Can you describe this lady to us in any detail? What she looked like? Who she was?
Dude, it's Emily.
Who's Emily?
Emily, duh, Emily.
Emily Duh?
Emily from Latrobe.
Emily from Latrobe?
Dude, Emily Mae Jones. She's probably sitting next to me right now in the studio. Wow, what an illuminating report.
Actually, did you know that one of my darkest secrets is that I accidentally catfished someone before?
What do you mean?
Well, when I was little and I was playing Habbo Hotel, I had a boy avatar and I had a girlfriend for a month. So,
Wow,
whoops.
I can't unsee that.
Oh, and you know what else I can't unsee? The 7 seas, which our next guest has sailed across.
Funny joke.
Thank you. I wrote it myself.
I don't get it.
What even are you?
I'm your first mate, Wallace.
Well, these guys have certainly taken over.
Ahoy, friend.
Welcome, Mr. Pirate. Is that your name, or do you have a...
No, Mr. Pirate's my father.
So what
No,
should
he's
we
not.
call
His
you?
name was Gene.
You shut up, will you?
Grr.
All right. My name is Alistair Flynn, and I'm a captain of my vessel, the Liberation. And your crew apparently abducted me. So, thank you for bringing me to this lovely environment.
Oh, you're very welcome. Welcome aboard.
What's your names?
Jake and Emily.
I see.
We're hosts here.
That's a very pirate name, Jake.
Thank you.
What about
No one
Emily?
wants to
Have I
hear
got a
you.
pirate
Shut up.
name? Is Emily piratey name?
No, not really.
Oh, well.
So, what exactly do you do? Tell us a bit.
Well,
Where?
I'll field this. I'll field this wallet.
okay.
I'll field this. You look over there.
Where are you?
We're sailors. We sail the Caribbean mostly, and relieve other ships the burden of their cargo and sell it for ourselves.
Okay.
It's like a tax.
Aye, exactly like a tax. No need
tax.
to ask any more questions.
Okay, can I just quickly say, I'm really enjoying your very piratey top right there.
Oh, yes. One of the... I normally don't wear a shirt, but one of your producers gave me this because I can't come on nude. She said she got it from Meyer.
You don't have clothes?
No. But I prefer to call Meyer my R.
Do you think just because that you can't see yourself, other people wouldn't be offended? Or do you know what a mirror is?
What do you mean he can't see?
What's a mirror?
What do you mean he can't see himself? He has the best eyes in the 7 seas.
Yar, I could shoot a bird from a mile away with a flintlock pistol with my eyes closed.
It kind of sounds like you're a pirate.
No.
No, we're privateers.
Privateer. We're honest. Honest, not. No one said pirate. No one said pirate.
Okay, so if you're not a pirate, then what are you exactly?
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, businessmen.
We preneur ships.
So you entrepreneur other people's property like a pirate.
Yes.
I suppose that sounds right.
But we're not pirates. No.
No.
But, all right, if there are no kingsmen around, we might be pirates on the side.
Look. I know a guy who's a pirate. He's me.
He's a good pirate. He's my favourite.
Pirate.
He looks pretty piratey.
Oh, look at that beard. I can't grow that.
Yar.
So, as you're not pirates, where do you sail around typically?
Sail around Africa. Bit of India and the Asians, but mostly the Caribbean.
So, would you call yourselves the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
I don't get
I guess we're pirates in the Caribbean. That makes I don't.
It's a very funny joke that everyone else would have laughed, but that's
Yeah.
okay. You haven't been
Everyone else.
around.
It's-
Yeah,
All right, so you're pirates, right? So what's it like being a pirate?
It's great.
Awesome, Mary. I
It
drink
is.
all the alcohol I want to. It's great.
Shut
Oh,
up.
Jake does too.
Do you want to join our merry crew, Jake?
You know what? We'll take you after this.
Where's
we'll
Jake?
take you. We'll take you back. He's over here. He's over. No.
No.
You can't see me.
This way.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm pointing. I'm pointing.
Hello, Jake.
As my good R. Do you like it?
It's pretty weak to be honest.
I don't think it's that good.
Whatever, Emily. Okay.
No, but being a pirate's grand. You sail on a ship, you're a free man. You don't have to listen to no one except this one. He has to listen to me because I'm the captain.
It's a terrible.
What's it like to attack and fight other ships?
Oh, it's grand.
I've only
Oh,
seen-
you have mighty battles, many stories you can tell your children that you,
must have
probably
seen a
won't
lot.
have.
Sticking
probably
your
legitimate.
cutlass through another man's ribs.
Ooh.
Nothing else like it.
Is it dangerous?
Someone stabbed my
It's
eye.
very dangerous. You're lucky if your gun doesn't explode in your face.
Oh, that's funny when that happens.
That's how he lost his eyes.
This all one's fine though. I just wear it for it makes me look more like a pirate.
You okay?
This is just an illuminating interview.
Wait a second. You're not blind?
Oh, this eye is this one. I can see fine.
Oh, so you can see.
Well, apparently I've been lied to this entire time.
What do you think of the studio?
It's very. What year are we in?
2017.
Where?
Aye. That's another good question.
This is our vessel, and this is the captain of our ship.
We've sailed through time
Oh,
And space.
and space.
what's space?
Yeah. Is that sky?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
We can fly.
We're like those Viking people.
You're like the Captain Hook in Never Everland.
Who's Captain Hook?
He's a really fun guy.
Is
don't
he?
don't
He's got a
don't.
hook for a hand.
But don't let him around your
is
children.
that practical for a pirate?
That's not practical. No. If
Can't you just hook a guy though?
No, but if a man
Hook a
had a
guy.
hook for a hand, you'd send him down to the kitchen. He'd be your cook.
Oh, or he could fish.
Not really, unless he takes his hand off.
Okay.
Can you take things off and like have different styles of hooks for different things? Like if you want to have like a little hook for like scratching a scratch.
I guess you could. We don't have that many hooks though. You're kind of limited to what's on the ship, and there's not a lot on the ship.
I
True.
kind of have one more question for you. I think Emily has been wanting to ask this. It is.
What sort of life is life for you?
Yo, yo, ho, ho, yo, yo, yo.
Oh, it's a pirate life for me! What? Oi, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, I've seen this before.
What's happening?
he scurvy. Not enough lemons. Not enough lemons.
No.
That's
No one wants to hear. No one wants to hear. No one.
Oh.
We're setting you down. We're setting you down. It's fine.
this is. Is he dead? This is the second death we've had on 1300.
I think we have that, the highest tally of that. I think we have a record of some kind.
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was great
I'll grab
meeting
him.
you.
I'll grab
Hopefully,
him.
we'll be seeing you in the future.
Yeah, it's not funny when you do it.
Jake is on board with the pirate puns. Yes.
I know.
It's only funny when I do it.
Yes. Now it's time for our last installment of ACLA. This is going to be interesting.
I'm actually really sad because without LCAA, I wouldn't have known about gaming addiction. I'm sad it's our very last time to see it.
And people wouldn't know about my apparent drinking problem.
Yes.
But let's see what Callum has for this second part.
Je suis le temps la trobe. A dark cloud hangs over La Trobe, plagued by a series of unfortunate events in recent times. One might dismiss them as coincidences, but something feels off. I cannot place my finger on it, but something is wrong. Terribly wrong. Was there a bigger conspiracy happening? My journalism senses were tingling, but I am unable to pinpoint the feeling as to why. This inability to find answers makes me question my ability as a journalist and makes me sad. Very sad. I sent a letter asking resident mind-blowing conspiracy analyst Meg Kennedy. Bonjour, calme, je suis tombant à la dent sans mot. Si j'envie marcher dans mon sou, j'avais tort. My God, that is it. Feeling full of hope again, I went back and retraced my steps. I looked at past ACLA videos, put together connections that might seem unlikely. I then came to a startling conclusion.
In the episode about bad car parking, something strange happened. The bad car parker received no fine, but in the video game addiction episode, we see the paper fine in the shot with Gene Paul. Not only that, but the coconut catfish episode, we can see an avocado, a symbol of wealth. We know the culprit is wealthy. The word banana has an A and an N in it. It makes Anne, Jan, or Jean. That's right, it was Jean all along, the culprit behind everything at Latrobe.
Little did I know what would await me upon confrontation. Jean, how could you? You were my friend. We have evidence.
Well. It looks like I have no choice.
It was Jared, my housemate and worker for 1300 Arrival Program, the showdown.
I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling journalists. But I didn't do it for anything petty like that. I did it for one thing. Love, specifically yours.
Thanks to my journalist intuition, I was able to solve literally all of Latrobe's problems.
Did you catch him?
No. There was kind of an unexpected attraction between us.
Wait, what?
I didn't catch him.
What do you... Dude, I'm sick of this. You break into people's homes, my home, make me look like an alcoholic. You can't do anything. You don't get any ratings. No, and that's it. That's it. Hand in your mic. No, I'm demoting you. You're going to work for Kelvin's assignment now.
He's just going to kill me on stage.
You're going to work with Kelvin, okay? See how you like that. This has been Jake Kohler for ACLA, the last segment ever.
Well, I don't think I'm well represented in that last matter, but all I will say in defense of myself, and I'm not going to name names, check the producer's sitting right next to me, sorry, someone forced me to do what was necessary for the shoot, so I washed my hands.
Well, all I will say is no comment, which is extremely relevant to the current political climate right now. Presented and now to our show, which is Please Explain, the segment with Marie and Sheridan. Please just start talking because I'm just going to keep talking now.
That was so smooth.
Segue.
Absolutely. Anna Curran, segue of the week.
Thank you for that very smooth introduction, Jake. So today, I guess we'll be discussing, what is a political perk?
Mm-hmm. What is a political perk?
Well, it's basically...
Please explain.
an entitlement or a benefit that a politician would get for basically being a politician, and it's funded by the taxpayer. It's on top of their base salary, which is already pretty high as it is, I think, in my opinion. And it's meant to be, and I say meant to be, purely for work expenses. Some include they can claim back money for travelling to and from their electorate to Canberra during Parliament sitting week. They can also claim unlimited domestic travel as long as it's reasonable, but what is reasonable? I don't know.
Can't it just come out of their normal pay? It wouldn't be that much more expensive, would it?
Yeah, I think we might fix the budget black hole if we did that.
Yes,
Oh yeah, I wonder where all this money's going.
Get rid of the deficit.
But they can't claim money for attending a private function without a valid work reason. So if you put a private function and a work trip in the one trip,
Bam.
Bam.
Loophole. They also get an allowance for food, accommodation, and anything else that's incidental while they're travelling. They can also have one privately owned car paid for by the taxpayer, which would be really nice. They can use a company car in Canberra and also $240 a year for parking, which won't even get you a white parking permit at Latrobe. I did check the website.
Oh, boy.
And they can also claim back for upkeeping their office. Just a fun fact, during the first half of 2016, Bill Shorten spent nearly $238,000 on upkeeping his office, and that's including furniture, laptops, stationary office items, and everything like that.
I bet it looks real nice, though.
Yeah, it would be a really nice
I hope
office.
so. That's our tax money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. I imagine it would be sort of hard to keep track of everyone's spending. So would it be easy for like someone to cheat the system, like you were saying?
Yeah, it is. And I guess that's why there's so much controversy around how they use taxpayer money or how they misuse it, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the most recent example would be now former Victorian Labor MP, now independent, Don Nadalla. Thank you, Marie, for correcting me on that one while
No
writing
worries.
the script. He's from Melton, which is in Melbourne's outer west. And he put an Ocean Grove caravan park as his primary residence from 2014 onward, which is roughly an hour and a half, 90 kilometres out of his electorate, which why would you even stay there?
Exactly.
To claim a $100,000 what's called a second residence allowance, which is usually for rural or regional MPs who have a second home in Melbourne when they're attending Parliament. No one's quite sure if he stayed there, but no one around there saw him, so that's the big question about that. But Daniel Andrews has since tightened eligibility around this allowance, but we're yet to see the result, and I guess we'll wait and see if it's effective or not.
That does sound very suspicious of him. So there's been a lot of talk of declaration of interest. What exactly is that?
So basically, if you're an MP, if you travel around, say overseas or something, you get given a gift by the visiting dignitaries or whatever.
Oh, nice.
And you can, you have to declare them. Sorry. So you have to declare it on your public interest register. So that way, people can look these up. They're available publicly on the Parliament House website. And so you can basically keep a record of this sort of stuff. And MPs have to declare items of value that are worth over $300. So if you get something that's worth below that, you don't have to declare, but you can if you want to.
Okay.
But if it's over 300, you have to, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And if an MP doesn't declare something, they get in big trouble. So an example of this is David Feeney, who's the member for Batman, nearby.
Far from Latrobe, is it?
Exactly. And basically, he completely forgot he owned a second house in Northcote, apparently. I mean, we all forget the car key or the house keys, car keys. You don't forget you've got a house. But anyway, he didn't declare that he had this house, and he was punished by the media for it, and to the point where he was that close to losing his seat at the previous election.
But he didn't lose his seat. He still got his seat.
He still got in, yes.
Well, I have to admit, sometimes I forget my house. Like, sometimes I've been drinking. Jake will know all about that.
Oh.
Maybe I do own a house. I'm just always at the Eagle Bar. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe the Eagle Bar is your house.
Ooh. Good point.
You heard it here first, folks. At
You're onto me.
1300.
Yeah.
So, do you have an example of an MP declaring stuff like gifts, for example?
Yeah, I do. This is actually a great story I was told last year for an article by an MP friend of mine, Craig Emerson. So he was the former Trade Minister under the Gillard government, and he left politics in 2013. And he represented the electorate of Rankin, which is in Queensland. So he told me that in 2009, the Telegraph newspaper singled him out for buying a house in Canberra, which he could stay at, when he was in Canberra, flying back and forth. As well as receiving travel allowance and all that. And they published a full-length photo of him on the front page of the paper, and they said it was a special investigation, which basically involved reading through his members of interest register. This is obviously within the guidelines because, if you represent an electorate that isn't in Canberra, you have to stay somewhere when you're in Canberra. Yeah. I mean, duh, it has to be done. But from this particular incident, Craig then decided to basically stick it up the telegraph by declaring the most trivial gifts. A good incident of this was when he was given 4 tomato seedlings by a visiting industry head, like tomato plants. He declared 4 tomato plants. And even better than that, he declared a small pie. I don't know if it was a meat pie. He didn't clarify that. And also some toilet paper. And just with that, it's great to know that our politicians are humans as well. But declaring toilet paper, I think he really did stick it up the telegraph. I think so.
Definitely. Well,
I think so.
Thank you so much for joining us again.
No
and bringing us
worries.
all that lovely
It's always great to
information.
have you guys on board.
And thank you for being with us through the whole show and please explaining.
I'm quite sad that it's the last show, actually.
Can we keep going?
I need to explain politics
Yeah,
to
let's just
someone.
keep going. We
This
can
has
go
been
for
the
another
most.
hour, right?
Who
Yeah.
are you explaining to?
All right, cool. Let's just keep going.
This has been the most interested in politics that I've ever been. It's when you guys have come on to explain it, especially with the preschool politics.
Yes.
That
Great.
is amazing.
Politics can be fun. It doesn't have to be boring, so that's good.
We try to make it fun.
You do a great job of it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys
so
so
much.
much.
No worries.
Thank you.
Now we've come to the end of our show and it's been a great time working here with everyone.
It's time for us to say our goodbyes.
So many amazing people that I've worked with this semester and I personally feel super, super lucky to have such an extraordinary team.
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing to work, just to creatively collaborate with just some amazing creative minds. And I have to say, I'm really sad it's going to be over, but I'm so grateful for the time that I've had with everyone and getting to work with everyone. And would have to thank the entire team and the tech team who does an awesome job every show. We have James, Tiff and Madison, and of course I'd like to thank our producers. We have Rachel and Jake.
Yes, you got my name right. Also, huge shout out to the people that get us to air every week, Phil, Marg and Imel. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this show, so thank you so much.
Thank you. And I guess that's
it.
Goodbye.
It's weird because you can't say see you next week, which is a nice closer because we won't.
I guess we'll just say see you at the Eagle Bar.
Yeah, adios. Ciao.